Fraternal Polyandry, exploring a unique form of marital arrangement in Nepal. In the context of marriage, the conventional image typically involves a union between a man and a woman. It's uncommon to envision a marriage involving two or more men with one woman, and even rarer to think of brothers sharing a wife. Nevertheless, in the Himalayan region of Nepal, particularly in many families, it was customary for all brothers to marry a single wife, and this form of marriage is known as polyandry. The primary motivation behind this practice is often rooted in practical consideration for survival, as families in this area typically own limited plots of land, and polyandry is seen as a way to maintain family property. Polyandry is a custom wherein the wife married by the eldest son of the family is also accepted as a wife by all his brothers. Despite being accepted as a wife, the brothers commonly address her as sister-in-law. In the marriage of the eldest son, the other brothers also participate as bridegrooms. It is customary for all the brothers to regard the bride married by the elder brother as their wife. In certain Bhote or Lama communities residing in many Himalayan regions of Nepal, polyandry is still practiced. There are still villages like Lamjung, Gorkha, Mustang, Manang, Humla, Jumla, Dolpa and Taplejung where polyandry persists. In the Lama community, regardless of the number of brothers, it is customary to marry only one wife, and they not only share affection and responsibilities but also share their wives with each other. The practice of fraternal polyandry among these communities is a tradition inherited from their Tibetan ancestor who migrated to Humla Valley from the Asian plateau steppes centuries ago. In this arrangement, with one or two husbands frequently away on herding or trading expedition, there is always at least one husband at home to care for the wife. The rationale behind polyandry is viewed as a form of insurance for the wife. If one husband proves inadequate or leaves, there is always another brother to fulfill the role. Additionally, this practice serves to concentrate the wealth of each household by maintaining a large population of working adult males under one roof. Long ago, according to folklore, it is believed that polyandry was adopted as a means to control population growth due to the scarcity of resources, particularly food. Religious myths have also played a role in sustaining polyandrous practices. According to local beliefs, after the Mahabharata war, when the 5 Pandavas ascend to heaven, they traverse the Himalayan region, including Humla. This is often linked to the statements of Draupadi, the wife of the 5 Pandavas, in the Mahabharata. While Draupadi was initially married to Arjun, the 5 Pandavas collectively took her as their wife. Earlier, there was a custom of keeping numerous sheep, goats and cattle, engaging in trans-Himalayan trade and herding animals. During that time, brothers would be involved in various occupations, one in business, another in shepherding, and so on. Even though they married the same wife, the brothers could not always live together as they were dispersed in different activities and locations. They would return home according to schedule or rotation. Leaders of the Lama community argue that their ancestors adopted polyandry to avoid the division of movable property and to reduce the overall workload. In polyandrous household, property is often registered in the name of the sister-in-law or the elder brother, ensuring that there is no division of family assets. Maintaining a strong understanding among the brothers is crucial for the success of polyandrous marriage. The eldest husband typically has the initial right to intimate relation with the wife. To accommodate the needs of all the brothers, they often take turns spending extended periods away from home, engaged in activities such as shepherding or business. Even if a child is conceived by a specific husband, the child is considered of the oldest brother, and the uncle-nephew relationship is maintained. Polyandry is often shaped by various factors, including geographical, economic, social, religious, and traditional constraints. One significant factor is the consideration of financial and hereditary wealth. When sons marry separately, it can lead to the fragmentation of the family. The birth of children increases the financial burden, and limited land or livestock must be shared among them. In cases where the available land is scarce, it may not be sufficient for building houses for 2 or more 3 generations. To address these challenges and ensure sustainable management, the ancestors adopted polyandry, and over time it evolved into a cultural and ritualistic practice. In most cases, women initially marry their first husband, and as the other brothers come of age, they also marry her. The entire family lives together in the same household. Some women even play a role in raising their husband until they reach maturity and decide to get married and engage in sexual relations. Within this family structure, there is typically no jealousy among the brothers as they practice fraternal polyandry as a means of survival. Additionally, it serves as a form of birth control for the woman, preventing her from becoming pregnant as frequently as her husbands have sexual relations with her. Women in such arrangements feel a sense of security because they are never alone, even if one husband passes away. They believe that this practice improves the chance of child surviving and ensures a brighter future for them. Fraternal polyandry in this context reduces the risk of family fragmentation. Even in monogamous marriages among brothers, the family can continue to live together and the family estate can be worked jointly. The tradition of bringing in one daughter-in-law as a collective decision of the parents is a social and moral obligation among certain communities in the Himalayas. In this practice, a marriage proposal is presented to the girl's family after obtaining the consent of the brothers to accept a common wife. If a son has reached the age of marriage, the acceptance is immediate. In the case of an underage son, the consent of the bride is sought to accept the husband in the future. This tradition is observed because second sons are destined to become lamas or Anish and reside in monasteries, making marriage prohibited for them. In families with extensive business venture, sheep farming, and various responsibilities, every male member of the household was engaged in external work. However, this practice is now beginning to pose challenges. Among the Bote or Lama communities residing in the Himalayan region of Nepal, it was customary for the eldest or youngest among all the brothers in the family to share the same wife. Although the practice has diminished in some areas, remnants of it can still be found in certain places. In cases where there is a significant age gap between a brother-in-law and sister-in-law, it's not common for there to be a lack of romantic feeling. Additionally, conflicts can arise even among siblings of the same age. Disagreements may be fueled by factors such as husbands pursuing the same profession, minimum age difference between brothers, or imprudent action by spouse or brothers. These disputes often lead to family fragmentation. The practice of polyandry has led to several societal challenges. In particular, the concentration of unmarried girls in the region has increased, prompting a rise in intercaste marriages. The dynamics of living together with multiple brothers under polyandry often led to conflict, with dispute arising over shares and entry into the family home. This situation resulted in many women staying unmarried, and instances of child born out of wedlock, known as Nulu, became prevalent. Leaders from the Lama community acknowledged that polyandry, once common, is now limited to few families, and the younger generation, influenced by education and awareness, is gradually abandoning this tradition. The complexity and lack of personal freedom associated with polyandry are cited as reasons for its decline. Despite the slow disappearance of this practice, some individuals continue it due to resource constraint. It's important to note that, according to law, polyandry is punishable up to 5 years and such marriages can be annulled. Thank you.